and we are and we are live.
Did you see that neck swivel?
Yeah, and I got the Gen X mom, Jersey mom. I don't even know chair dance going on. Welcome, happy Thursday, and welcome to the Joe and BDD show. I'm Joe Carducci. I'm joined by Majid Patel and my dear friend Brooklyn Dad Defiant. Hi.
What's up? Are you ready for some football?
Actually, we are going to end today's episode with some football talk. I this fun fact real quick before we get into all the shit that's going on. Did you see that stat about the Seahawks and the Popes? You see that?
No. What is that
The
stat?
last 3 times or 4 times that there's been a Seahawks in a Super Bowl, there's been a new Pope. This is a good.
That's crazy.
This Pope, the Pope. This is a good Pope. I like this Pope. I'm happy.
I do like him too.
Pope is dope. Yeah. There's like a weird parallel statistically. Seahawks, Pope. I don't know. Put in the chat who you guys, if you're watching, and B2. Also, I have an ear infection or the flu. I'm not sure, but put who you're rooting for if you're watching. Brooklyn, are you going to be watching? I know we're going to
absolutely Seahawks 100%, and this is the first Super Bowl in a very long time. My son and I are both rooting for the same team, and that's because the Kansas City Chiefs are not playing this year, and I'm always like a Chiefs fan in the Super Bowl, and he's always like anti-Chiefs. So we're both anti-Patriots.
Oh yeah,
we're less pro Seahawks, more anti-Patriots.
Okay. I can take that, and we are going to talk about the Super Bowl at the end, but I just want to see what everybody's putting in there. I'm afraid to put it out into the universe because I've been wrong on every game. So every team, I'm like, go Bills, and then of course we saw what happened with the Bills, et cetera, et cetera. I don't like Bob Kraft, obviously, for lots of reasons. He's also in the Epstein files, which we are going to open with, and the Chiefs, look, I don't no beef with the Chiefs. I'm a long-suffering Giants fan, but Henry Winkler, who's the greatest human being on the face of the planet, is a huge diehard Chiefs fan, and that makes me like the Chiefs. So, they're not.
You said long-suffering Jets fan, but I got another Giants fan, but I got another fun fact for you, and that is that the Giants are the only team to defeat the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl, not one time, but a 2-time. It's very nice. I like.
It was very exciting. Believe me, as a Giants fans, we're very excited. Manning all the way, all day, and helmet catches, etc. But I'm, like I said, going back Phil Simms, Parcells era kind of Giants fan. There are no Jets fans. There's only Aaron Parnas. That's it. There's Aaron Parnas and his dad. That's it for Jets fans. But back to Kraft being in the Epstein files, because which one of Donald Trump's friends isn't? I heard a stat that like 37 of his closest friends, 37 people in the his inner circle, are in the Epstein files. We have news that broke last.
When are we going to start calling it the Trump files?
Yeah. And when are we going to start saying Melania came here on an Epstein visa, not an Einstein visa?
Ooh,
I think they just
please let us do that. Can we start that trend?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Seriously. So Sam's going to pull up an image because the Krasenstein brothers, I think, found this gem. This is from 2016. They're talking about a date in the future, 2017. It's an email to Jeffrey Epstein from Boris Nikolic, who who's that dude again? He gave him the trust of his estate or something, right? Some Russian?
Could be. I'm unfamiliar with the Nikolic guy, but
so
his name is fun to say, but
yeah. Nikolic says to Jeffrey on Christmas, have fun. Hope to see you on the 4th. I leave for San Francisco on the 5th. And then Epstein says back, 4th, I'm in Palm with all the Trump boys. Equals fun. All the Trump boys on that. He's talking about January 4th, presumably, right? 2017. What? Brooklyn, help me out here.
Well, that's interesting because I seem to recall, I'm old enough to remember that Donald Trump specifically denied have anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein after what was it? He stole his massage girls or something. What was it, 2004?
That's what he says.
Which was probably about a year before that New York magazine interview where he said he's a terrific guy, and some people say he loves the young girls as much as I do, something to that effect.
Little, and then some of them on the slightly younger side. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
So,
He's
right.
got his dates all mixed up because if he was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, or his boys were hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein all when he was
Mm-hmm.
president elect or whatever, what the hell?
The math is not mathing. The math is not mathing. I mean, this is the thing. Someone mentioned this in the chat. 38,000 mentions of Donald Trump in what we have seen so far in
Mm,
the Epstein files. 38,000. That,
mm.
that feels like more than a coincidence. And he can't keep up with his own lies, which is why the math doesn't math, because he keeps saying one thing and then the dates prove something else, just like with Nutlick, who said, oh, my wife and I went to his house and there was a massage table and he gave me the creeps and I cut ties immediately. And then we know from these emails that he was with his kids on Epstein Island years
Mm-hmm.
and years later. Like,
Yeah.
this is the thing. Like, none of them can keep up with their own lies.
I got a fun fact for you. I don't know how fun it is, but it is a fact. Because I saw that statistic about how many mentions Trump had in the Epstein files. So I was just curious to see how many times well-known villains have appeared in well-known fictional works.
Okay.
So we have Darth Vader in the Star Wars trilogy, not just like The New Hope, the first one, all three. Darth Vader's name appears 60 to 70 times across all three movies.
Oh my God, that's it.
That's it. Saruman is the bad guy in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. He appears 40 to 50 times in the movie. In the books, those big, fat, thick books, 150 to 200 times. But here's the humdinger here.
Big books. Those are big books.
Here's the humdinger. Now, Voldemort in the Harry Potter books appears 1,250 times across all 7 novels. And that's still just a fraction of the number of times that Donald Trump appears in the Epstein files. Look, it's not even just bad guys, right? Like, it's good guys too, like Jesus. Jesus only appears in the Bible like 1,200 times or some God, same thing. God's name, God Almighty's name does not appear as many times in the Bible as Trump's name does in the Epstein files. But I'm very innocent, very innocent.
He's actually saying, now we know because we've seen that he's absolved. He's been absolved. He said this several times since that dump on last Friday, less than a week ago. This is one of the funniest comments. I have to read it to you that I've seen. It's funny and it's sick and it's twisted and it's all fucked up. But here we go anyway, because this is where we are. And I have to put my old lady glasses on. Hypothetically, if someone was accused of having sex with goats by over 30 different people and regularly denied it, but also dropped very public hints about how much he liked to have sex with goats for decades and ran a goat pageant to find the best looking goats and was best friends with someone who got convicted of fucking goats and trafficking goats to friends all over the world who also liked to fuck goats, and his name was in the classified goat fucker chronicles 5,000, 38,000 times, and he wished other goat fuckers well in prison, what do you think the odds are that person is also a goat fucker?
Oh my God. Whose comment is that?
Someone named, oh my God, this is the greatest name of all time. This one may appear in the in Lord of the Rings. Ragnar Blackwolf on Substack. Well, someone being liberal reposted this and said, if it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then it's probably a duck.
I love that.
Donald Trump's a goat fucker. You heard it here.
That is hilarious.
It's so good.
Hilarious.
And it's spot on.
I also find it unusual. I think it was yesterday or the day before, he said he had the audacity to say that Americans are ready to just move on, that nobody cares. Can you believe this?
Yeah,
Nobody cares about the Epstein files? Are you freaking kidding me? I forget if we can curse on here.
I think you can curse. I have fucking cursed on here. I don't think YouTube loves it. But I don't. But I don't. I mean, look, it's us. It's us.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's just keep it real. And it's 2026.
Right.
January was 12 years long. We get to say some bad words.
It was.
It
Oh my
was.
God.
It
Oh my
really was.
God. What you
Yeah.
just said is so real because seriously, this year, it's only been 1 month and it
Mhm.
feels super long. Like the second day in January, we were invading Venezuela. And
Yeah.
then, then we had Renee Good killed, and then Alex
Mhm.
Preddy killed. And in between all that stuff, there was just absolute mayhem. Absolute complete mayhem. Jeez.
Truly. It has been, and this is all by design. We're going to get to some things that Steve Bannon said recently in a minute, but it really is all by design.
Yeah.
But back to your point about Trump saying we should just move on. He also said, and I'm going to send this picture to Sam, see if he can pull it up real quick. He also said, it's spoken like somebody who's implicated 38,000 times, right? That we need to turn the page.
Hmm.
And one of the greatest memes, tweets, responses, replies, literally dead on the floor, dead when I saw this. So the Governor Hochul's press office said. So they tweeted Trump. It is time to turn the page on the Epstein scandal. Governor Hochul's. Is it Hochul? It's Hochul, right? It's Hochul, like
Hochul.
a
Yeah.
Hochul. Here,
Kathy.
Sam's got it. Won't matter.
Oh,
It
snap.
was on
Oh!
the next
Fatality.
I mean, stop. He's already dead, right? It is like finish him. It's so good. I mean, this is the thing. We have to laugh. It's fucked up,
That's
but like
good.
we have to laugh. But he only someone. First of all, we're gonna segue to the next thing too, because this is part of what happened when he was saying the American people are not interested in this. It's time to move on. It's time to put this behind us. It's time to turn the page. That's the kind of thing you say when you're in the files. You want us to
Yeah.
all move away. He has been thinking that he could just Teflon this thing for as long as he's been in office this season.
Oh, wait, before I forget, I'm sorry, but
Mhm.
have you seen his sudden attempts to befriend Bill Clinton? Him so concerned about Bill Clinton,
Mhm.
and somebody, a reporter, asked him like, "Why are you so concerned about Bill Clinton?" And he's like, "Because he's a good guy."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?
Brothers in arms.
What planet am I living on now? Come on."
I mean,
Come
I
on
think he
now.
thinks now if he tethers himself to Clinton, he might be able to shield himself. He's like, well, we're both pedophiles.
Do you
We both.
do you think Bill knows some stuff? He's going to testify
Yeah. I mean,
on the 27th, I think it is, February
that whole
27th.
thing is fascinating to me because I mean, I think for me, I think everybody who's involved and named in these files should have to testify. I want to drag them
Yes.
all. I don't give a
Yes.
flying fuck if you're my party or not my party. If you, I don't care if it's Prince dragged
Drag
out
them
of
all out.
the grave. I love Prince, by the way. But if you did these things to children, you deserve to be held accountable. You deserve to find out, and I don't care. Bill Gates
Yeah.
should have to. They all. Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell did not traffic these children to no one. And
Nope.
none of the people they trafficked these children to have faced any consequences. Well, until recently, right? Which is very interesting because we saw, I'll skip to this one real quick and then we'll come back because Brad
Mhm.
Karp resigned related to the files. Brad Karp, the partner or whatever he is, there it is, of Paul Weiss, the Paul Weiss law firm. Infamously, the Paul Weiss law firm was the first major law firm to bend the knee, to capitulate, to obey in advance. In the very beginning of, seems like 10,000 years ago, but other attorneys like George Conway found their very early capitulation extremely, extremely odd. And Timothy
What?
Snyder, who's a genius, writes about this. Rule number one is do not obey in advance. And that's what Paul Weiss's law firm, that's what the Paul Weiss law firm did. Brad Karp is the head. It was the head. He resigned today.
What were the emails?
Oh,
Do we
my
know?
God. Yes. They're
Were they
disgusting.
like really like resignation worthy emails?
I'm going to look for them now. Terrible. Like terrible. Like just like the guy from CBS who left his wife in a hospital room with a child she thought might be dying, and was instead associating himself with Epstein. Here, there's $3 million, blah, 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 4 days ago. I'm safe. Sorry, friends. Stick tight. I'm going to look this up on my handy dandy. Okay.
Do you need your
Um,
glasses?
I do because I'm 700 years
Put them
old.
old lady glasses
I
on.
do. Okay. Yeah. Um, Sorry. Need to work magic to get Brad Karp admitted to Augusta Golf Club. Epstein texted to someone whose name was redacted. Where are no? There's really bad ones. Sam, if you do want to do your magic behind the curtain. Okay, here we go. Okay. The following year, an email appears to reference a 2015 dinner with Allen and Karp, according to the Financial Times. I can't thank you enough for including me in an evening I'll never forget. It was truly once in a lifetime in every way. Though I hope to be invited again. You are an extraordinary host, and your home, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Yep. There are many, many nights of unique talents who will be invited often, Epstein replied. You are amazing, and thank you. Karp, who has been chairman of Paul Weiss since 2008, responded. And there's more. There's just more.
But but
sorry.
hang on a second. So
Yeah.
what I'm just listening to you read that for the 1st
Mhm.
time, and if I didn't know anything about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, that email doesn't sound like guilty at all. But there might be some reading between the lines that he's afraid people are going to do,
Yeah.
and it's only him that knows, right?
Yeah.
So if he's resigning over some emails like that,
Right.
then where there's smoke, there's fire,
And
right?
meanwhile, right. So we have those emails, and he led to his resignation. Jay-Z's basically like fled the country. We have prime ministers and lords who have stepped down, and we have a prince who lost his title.
Jay-Z fled the country?
Yeah, Jay-Z took off. He
What?
lost 10 million followers and like all this. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. In
Where
the
have I
immediate
been?
wake, because he's accused in the it's alleged that dun, dun, dun. It's alleged in the files that he raped at least one person. And the fucked up thing about that is, I think he
Oh my
says
God.
the allegations were that this child woke up in a bed with him and Weinstein. With Jay, yeah. But again, a prince lost his title. We've had
We don't care about that
reporters
crap.
fired, managing partners resigning. All of these consequences in all over the world, and Donald Trump, who's named 38,000 times, and there are allegations, sworn testimony about him raping 12-year-olds and threatening to kill them. He was the keynote speaker at a prayer breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
Make it make sense, Brooklyn. Make it make sense.
Which at that prayer breakfast, by the way, he noted that there were Democrats in the audience who shouldn't be there because they don't give us votes. So at a national prayer, he's being divider in chief at a national prayer breakfast that is supposed to bring people together.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy is 100% off the charts. I can't believe that a single soul believes that he is actually Christian, that he believes anything from the Christian faith, because I understand the whole idea about well, nobody's perfect, and and the Lord forgives and all that stuff. Yeah, but he's not even asking for forgiveness. He's not even trying to be better. He's not even trying to ask his fellow human to be better. He's giving permission to people to be their shittiest selves. And I think there's gonna I wish I could be there the day that he gets his comeuppance and he tries to get past the pearly gates, and you're like, nah, you're going down there, buddy. You're going
He says
down.
no. Yeah, sorry, you're in the wrong. But I don't even think he's gonna try unless he thinks he can pay his way in or bribe his way. And he's like, "Do we have compromise on God? Like, you guys, the Russians, Putin, you got anything? Is he in Epstein's files with us? Like, I'd like some access." I wrote this many years ago. This was this was to MAGA. You think a man who spends his Sundays worshiping at Our Lady of the Perpetual Mulligan is devout, that a thrice married philanderer who says he dated his own daughter is a family man, that being found liable of business fraud makes him a real estate guru, that $413 million that he got from his father makes him self-made, that bragging about sexual assault is locker room talk, that being able to identify an elephant proves he's a genius. Yeah,
Mm,
he's devout, and I'm a
that
natural
was
fucking
good.
blonde who never fucking swears. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Donald Trump,
Wait, you're not a natural blonde?
shocking, shocking, right? It's almost perfectly on cue. Yeah, and also thinning, which is fun for 51. Yay, all the things. Your body's like, you're old. You can't see. Your hair is falling out and it's going gray. Yeah, no, but this man, this man, this man sold Bibles for profit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. He is the embodiment of the seven deadly sins rolled into one anthropomorphic aspic mold of goo. Okay. This is a person who, when asked to name his favorite passage in the Bible, said all of them. It's my second favorite. I often say it's my second favorite book. And then asked if he was a New Testament or an Old Testament guy, he said equal. I like them both equally. Okay? He's
Can't-
like I said,
He
if he's
can't even
devout,
list
then
one Bible
I'm,
verse.
I'm a fucking born again virgin. Okay?
Oh
He's
boy.
not devout. But anybody who believes that is believing it because they need to believe it, right? Because
Yeah.
every metric, every data point there is in existence. This is a person who mocked a child with a stutter. This is a person who
Mm.
mocked a disabled reporter. This is a person who mocked a man who was captured while serving our country in battle. This is a man
Yep.
who openly and unabashedly brags about committing acts of sexual violence. Okay, this
Ooh,
guy
can I
says
can I
all the
throw a
time.
log? Can I
Yeah,
throw a log on that fire?
yeah, of course.
This is a man who got angry at a bishop, Bishop Marian Buddha, when
Mhm.
she said, "Have mercy."
Yeah.
Like, come on now, come
They
on.
all got mad. They all got mad. Remember their faces? And then
Yeah.
this morning, it was a little bit of that at the prayer breakfast too. Somebody said, they mentioned the people they buried in the ground in Minneapolis and prayers for them, which was interesting. This is a guy who knows he's not getting into heaven. He says it. He said it at the prayer breakfast today. He said he thinks
Oh.
maybe Mike Johnson will help him. He'll protect him. Right? Like it's like a bouncer at a club where it's like you can come in. Yeah, your friend too. That's not how it works. That's not how it
Mm-mm.
works.
No.
But again, because this is a pattern, Ron Filipowski posted a great montage of Trump disparaging, attacking, demeaning women. And since we're still kind of dovetailing this Epstein conversation, one of the things that happened 2 days ago, I believe it was now, I wrote about this last night, so it had to be 2 days ago, was he had a meeting in the Oval Office. One of those where grandpa, the cooked shrimp, sits there like inverted, covering his black grayscale hands, and they all like come
Yeah.
around him like, how are you, grandpa? Are you eating? Do you want some more jello? That's what it's like. And so it was a whole bunch of senators and others, including Susan Collins, holding MAGA hats. Susan Collins, just fuck you, Susan Collins. This is my Substack. Fuck you and fuck you, Katie Britt. But she's an originalist, so I'm not gonna pretend like this is anything new for Katie Britt.
Right.
But there's Susan. She doesn't look that disappointed, does she? She doesn't look so disappointed to me.
Usually she looks either disappointed or concerned, but she looks neither there. She looks absolutely sycophantic.
Doesn't she? She looks blissfully. I'm deeply concerned. I'm very troubled. Yeah. I'm disappointed. She looks well. She can't disappoint us anymore. But one of the things that happened, related to the Epstein files during that dear leader moment in Timu Versailles, because my God, it looks like he pissed gold all over everything, was Caitlin Collins. God bless her. She does not have any fucks to give for Donald Trump, and he doesn't intimidate her, and he hates it. She asked him about the Epstein files, and one of the things she asked about was justice for the survivors. And one would think a question like that would not trigger a normal person, but it triggered Donald Trump, so much so that he decided, as he's done many, many times with her and others, remember Quiet Quiet Piggy, to go after her and to disparage and insult. Did you see it?
You know what? I completely missed the last 30 seconds of what you were saying because all I was hearing was like robotic distortion. I couldn't,
Oh,
yeah. I'm not sure if it's on your end or my end, but you're back now. I can
did
fully hear you.
everybody else
So
hear it?
just,
I don't know. Guys, were you able to hear that? I don't know if the chat's working.
I can see the chat. Nobody's mentioned anything about it. So it might have been just on my end,
Oh, uh,
but
they
I can
heard.
hear you fine
Sharon, are
now.
you
So
saying you heard it or you didn't hear it? I don't know if I
I,
need to
I
go
didn't
back.
I didn't hear the last 30 seconds of what you were saying about the Susan
Oh,
Collins thing in the.
yeah. Did you see the clip? We're gonna play it of Trump going after Caitlin Collins when she dared to ask
Oh
about.
yeah, I
Yeah,
did. That infuriated me, and like it's weird because I've seen and heard him do so many reprehensible shit
yeah.
that you would think that something like that, wouldn't measure up. But I was pissed off for a few reasons. So go ahead and play the clip, and
Yeah.
then I'll opine on the other end of
Mm-hmm.
that.
You talked about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and correspondence that he had with him. Did you read those new files that were published by the
No,
Department of Justice?
I didn't. I have a lot of things I'm doing, a lot of things I'm doing. I don't know. You say, go ahead,
What would you say to
are
the
so
survivors
bad.
who feel
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. She's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile
Well,
on
I'm
your
asking
face.
you about survivors
You know why?
of
You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth, and you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you. Okay, go
survivors
ahead.
of sexual
You
abuse.
mentioned health care.
All right, so let me
So many
enumerate the reasons why that particular clip just send me over the edge. Because so number one, the whole smile thing. Anybody who ever remembers being told by a man that they should smile more knows that that comes from a very ugly, an ugly place. Number two, he said like she tried to ask about the victims, the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein. Do you know that he has never, not one time, said anything nice or kind or compassionate about the victims, about the survivors, but he has said about Ghislaine Maxwell, I wish her well. I wish her well. And then he has the audacity to to trample over Caitlin Collins, who is an incredible professional. I don't know how she maintains her composure when she's being berated like that. And then lastly, for the other people in the room with Caitlin Collins, can you not follow up with the same question that she just tried to ask? Back each other up, for crying out loud. It makes me sick. It makes me sick because it's her today. Tomorrow it might be you, unless you plan to live on your knees for the rest of the time that you're a White House Oval Office reporter, for crying out loud.
Amen to all of that. I completely agree with you. Thank you for saying it so clearly and so passionately. It's the why don't you smile thing as a survivor. Um, I'm not going to ugly cry, but it is so triggering because it is how predators talk. It is how abusers talk. I'll just say, I know a person. I have a friend, who was punched and strangled and kicked in the stomach and told it was her fault. It was one of those
Mm,
things where what she was told was, look what you made me do, and then expected to clean herself up and look pretty, so that everything looked perfect on the outside. And
disgusting.
those kinds of words, why aren't you smiling? It is him saying, while I'm doing this to you, you should be thankful, right? You should be grateful. He is a predator. That was extremely predatory and it was
Yeah.
extremely triggering. And to your point also about the press, this is part of the why and the how we got here. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
And there is no job on the planet. I'm sorry. There is no job on the planet. There's no access to power, no proximity to power. There is nothing that is worth you abdicating your soul and your
Yeah.
integrity to the point where you can continue to embolden and empower and enable that kind of abuse, where you can continue to normalize it and to sanitize it and to send it down so that it's expected. He can get away with it because
Yeah.
you're not standing up for your colleagues. And like you said, it's not a matter of when, it's if it happens to you, because he doesn't care about any of you. But the woman who went next and just rolled into the next question, and the silence from all of her colleagues, and I'm sure Caitlin has been quiet when she's seen other people doing it or having it done to other people as well. I don't know for a fact. She's been in the press pool for a long time. This has happened repeatedly. I've never seen her necessarily. Maybe I'm wrong. There was a Rose Garden speech during COVID where he went after an African American journalist whose name I can't remember.
April.
Yes, April
April
Ryan.
D. Ryan. Yeah.
He went after April Ryan, and somebody backed her up. It might have been Caitlin, or it might have been in reverse. So I do remember that. But you're right. At the very least, like, I would say, back the fuck up, bro. Right? Like, and my job's not that important, but at the very least, ask the same question. At the very least, Mehdi Hassan says this all the time. At the very least, your next journalist over, ask the same question. And the other part of that is that Susan Collins is standing there still clutching her stupid MAGA hat. This woman who calls herself a champion for women is standing there silently. And silence in the face of abuse is complicity. It is a permission structure, and is part of how we got here.
I've lost the ability to be disappointed in Susan Collins because she is a complete disappointment. I don't know how she keeps getting reelected. I've never seen a weaker. Actually, I have seen weaker politicians.
Yeah.
Mike Johnson comes to mind. Also, Lindsey Graham, the lick spittle that he is. The whole lot of them. Don't count on any of those folks to save our democracy ever. They're the ones helping to take it down brick by brick.
Yeah. And I'm hoping, and I wrote this in my Substack last night, I'm hoping that Susan Collins truly understands what it means to be disappointed this November, because Susan Collins is facing formidable challengers on the left. We don't know yet who it's going to be, but Graham Plattner's up there, Janet Mills, who is extremely popular. And by the way, fun note about Janet Mills, one of the reasons Trump sent his ICE goons into Maine, where they have been for a while, do you remember when she spoke up to his face?
I do. Wasn't that last year?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, this year, whenever. Yeah, last year. The whole year's a blur, because he was talking
I forget
about
what it was about. Was it
trans athletes in sports? It was about trans athletes in sports, and he wanted the states to a non-issue. This is them making shit up, manufacturing crises that don't exist to fearmonger. And she said to his face, "We're not going to do that." And he didn't. He threatened right then and there.
That's right.
So
See you in court. That's L.J. Lippo.
That's right.
There we go.
Correct.
Yeah.
And what happened there? He did not prevail. She stood her ground. So she is every woman Susan Collins will never be. Susan Collins wishes she had a pinky worth of the integrity that Janet Mills has. And I'm not weighing in on that primary. I'm not picking a horse in that race. I want a Democrat. That's all I care about right now. I want Susan fucking Collins to be deeply, deeply disappointed. That's right.
See, I see. I'm taking a more cautiously optimistic approach to this. I see one of the comments here. Reality Check 9408 says Maine is through with her.
Good.
I wish I could believe that, but that's what I thought about Ted Cruz in Texas. With Beto and all that. By the way, when did that Texas special election happen? Because did that happen? It was, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't have a chance to rap about that, because that's pretty significant. Texas now. Texas.
Maybe we should pivot on to that one. Well, let's just put a pin in that, because it was a 30-point swing. It was a 31-point swing. In Texas District 9, I believe. It's
a BFD.
Yes, a very big deal. A very big fucking deal. And the largest red county in the country. In the
Oh, I
country.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
The
I
largest.
don't believe they've had a Democrat in 50 years. It was extremely good news. Plus, we got, and he actually has been sworn in. We got a new congressman there in Texas as well. So that's fantastic. So the really good news out of Texas, also one of the reasons that Trump is threatening to nationalize elections, which is something we're going to get to, because
Yeah.
he saw that race that he personally weighed in on. He personally endorsed the Republican, I believe,
Three
twice,
times.
three
Three.
times.
Yeah.
Once on election day, and they saw
Mhm.
the gap worsen between people. Yeah.
He's got the reverse Midas touch.
At this point, right?
Everything
Trump
he touches.
everything, including the Kennedy Center. But
Yeah.
they're back to the Caitlin Collins stuff, because this was a clip. This was a clip that people really got pissed off about, because honest to God, I've gotten to a point now where I think JD Vance is so insufferable. He makes Ted Cruz look likable. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
JD
Agreed.
Vance is he's evil, but he's
Mhm.
also so smug. He's smug, he's nasty, he's slimy, he's slithery. He's ick, right? He
Yeah.
gives me the ick. And
Mhm.
he went on Megyn Kelly's podcast, and she's another one who said that raping 15-year-olds is not technically rape because they're barely legal types. So
Yep.
we have this clip. So JD Vance is talking about Caitlin Collins, but he's also asked about Alex Preddy, and we have both those clips, I believe. Right, Sam?
Yep.
I mean, like, there was a moment in the Oval Office, I wasn't even in there, but, you know, I was in the West Wing, and somebody sent me where he was talking to Caitlin Collins, who's the CNN anchor. And I have, like, a decent relationship with Caitlin Collins, which is unusual given that she's from CNN. But the president, she's asking a question. The president says, "Why don't you ever smile?"
Yeah.
And it's actually, like, so perceptive. Even if you're asking a tough question, even if you take your job very seriously, like, why does it always have to be so antagonistic?
Well, I laughed because I saw online everybody was calling him sexist for saying that. And I literally said the same thing about Caitlin Collins a year ago on my show. She never smiles. Every once in a while, you have to smile. Roger Ailes used to tell us that. Every once in a while, you
Absolutely.
can remember to smile, show
Just
the viewers that you have a
have
heart.
some fun.
She was talking
Have
about
some fun. Right? The survivors of Jeffrey Epstein should have some fun. They ought to, like, if they're not already, Democrats ought to be cutting up that clip and making ads. Use that, have some fun, and intersperse it with testimony from survivors, and just keep having say, have some fun. And then at the very end, I would put that stupid meme with him looking at the camera with his mascara eye. That bullshit. The words you used to describe him, the adjectives, were, in my opinion, just too kind, because he believes in nothing. He is like a sociopath, right? He's a sociopath who will look in the camera and lie and not feel a bit of remorse about it. Because he believes that it's okay to create stories if you have to get your message across. That's why he impugned the honor of Haitians in Springfield, saying that they were eating cats and dogs. Despite the fact that he knew the story had been debunked, he made an excuse for it. In his mind, there's an excuse for everything. Any sin, any wrongdoing can be justified. The ends justify the means. Is that it? Yeah. The ends justify the means in his mind. And those are the most dangerous people. The ones who feel like, as long as I get the result I'm looking for, it doesn't matter how I go about getting it. And that's just wrong.
I wrote a piece years ago, I think in the lead up to 24, about how broken those two are. They're deeply, deeply broken. I think there's a lot of unresolved childhood trauma there that we could, armchair therapist this shit all day long. But JD Vance's personal history is really fucked up, right? And I am not shaming anybody for their past. We all have our issues.
Oh, yeah.
We all have our struggles. We do get a say in how that manifests in our lives and how we exist as human beings, as adults, right? We choose, we make deliberate choices to try to heal trauma, first of all, but to try to lead with a better foot to try to not repeat the abuses that were done unto us, right? For me, when I look at Donald Trump and JD Vance, and again, we know we know that neither one of them had, perfect happy childhoods. There was a lot of trauma. There was a lot of, distance and arguably abuse. JD Vance's mother, and again, no shame, this. She was an addict who stole medicine from the hospital where she worked. She had a parade of men coming in and out of JD's life. He changed his name 3 times. He had all these father figures. He ended up with his grandparents. These things happen. We all go
Yeah.
through things, right? What happened, I believe, with both of these two, with JD Vance, that stuff metastasized into a person who is a sociopath, into a person who can do what you just said, who can lie about an entire population of human beings, knowing it puts a target on their back, knowing it dehumanizes them. He can do that because there's no real center there. There's no moral core. It's all shattered and broken. And he needs to inflict harm on others to self-soothe what he's never fixed about himself and his life.
Yeah.
And like, again, I could talk about that all day long, but he almost more than Trump scares me. He's so deeply narcissistic and so deeply sociopathic and so quick to be heartless and depraved and amoral. In that same interview, this is what both of our points. This is what he said. So I'm going to set it up because in the immediate wake of Alex Pretty's murder, he called him basically a domestic terrorist, right?
Yep,
He
I remember.
came out
Yeah.
and attacked and disparaged him. So this is the same interview. No, it's not. It's a different interview with JD Vance, but it looks the same. This one I think
Yeah.
was I don't know if I remember the reporter, but we have a clip of him being asked about Alex Pretty. Let's play that.
And to apologize to the family of Alex Pretty
For what?
for, labeling him an assassin with ill intent.
Well, again, I just described to you what I said about Alex Pretty, which is that he's a guy who showed up with ill intent to an ICE protest.
No, but if it is
He's
determined,
a guy,
if it's determined that his civil rights were violated by this FBI investigation, will you apologize to that?
so if this hypothetical leads to that hypothetical leads to another
it's
hypothetical,
a real case
will
that's
I
open.
do a thing? And again, like I said, we're going to let the investigation.
That slippery motherfucker. Let me just say, right, before I tear into his ass, right? I loved what you said earlier about leading with a better foot. That's so very well said. Because you and I both understand we've gone through trials and tribulations, and neither of us can throw a stone from inside a glass house, because like my own personal background is that I lived with addiction, and I battled and struggled with addiction for a long time, and I was very publicly open about my lowest points, and the part of that was not to titillate the voyeuristic jackasses out there, to give them ammunition to remind me every day how I struggled with it 23 years ago. It was to try to help other people, to use my pain to help others. But JD Vance uses his pain as fuel to hurt other people. So when he was talking about, when he said, apologize for what? Motherfucker. I mean, like, dude, you just came out and just and lied about a dude who was shot trying to help a woman up. He had pepper spray in his eyes, and he was still trying to help this woman off the ground. They approached him. He didn't approach them. He had one hand free, another hand holding a phone. We've all seen the videotape multiple times. Even Senator Rand Paul was like, look, we've seen this video. There was that shooting should have happened. You know who also said that shooting should not have happened? Donald Trump. Donald Trump came out in an interview, I think it was an NBC interview yesterday, where he said it shouldn't have happened. So, I tend to think that there's a lot of people who owe some apologies to the family of Alex Pretty, not just the family of Alex Pretty, but of Renee Good. They come out with they lead with their worst foot. on
Mm-hmm.
these things. Or they immediately look to weaponize these incidents against the victims, United States citizens. You're not looking for the worst of the worst. You're looking for the weaker people, the people who aren't armed, the people who can't defend themselves, the people you are supposed to be defending.
Mm-hmm.
You want to throw up your hypocritical hands and cry about Lack and Riley. Yeah, that's one person. What about all these U.S. citizens that you are trampling in the name of mass deportation? You know, I understand if you have an infestation in your home, right, and you're trying to get rid of mice or whatever. Don't take a blowtorch and in the process kill the pets and the family members who are living in that house because you're trying to eradicate people, to eradicate a threat, a
Yeah.
perceived threat. It's ridiculous.
It is, and remember, if we did not have everyday human beings documenting this with their phones, if we did not have the videos that are so conclusive, particularly in the Preddy case, unfortunately, they have decided that they can, you know, absolve Jonathan Ross with Renee Good's death because they didn't have. I don't. I mean, I would say that they do, but they are still arguing that she was trying to run him over. They're never going to stop. Todd Blanche said that they are not opening any kind of investigation. That is done. There is not going to be a civil rights
What?
investigation. Yeah, he said it on 2 Sundays ago, I believe. But there, maybe it was this Sunday. It all blends together. But he did say that there's one for Alex Preddy's death. That to me, again, you were right. They did. They came out immediately. Christy Noam, Todd Blanche, Pam Bondi, uh, uh, Stephen Miller, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and indicted both of these people as domestic terrorists immediately, which is also not normal. But there is a civil rights investigation into Preddy's murder. I mean, the man, we've seen every angle of this thing. They unloaded 10 bullets into his body. So if we didn't have those video clips, they wouldn't be doing anything about any of it.
Keep
And it is,
recording. Keep
yeah,
recording.
and it's terrible that we have to live in a surveillance state. But this is where we are, and the again, just to kind of put a point on this with JD Vance, did you see the smirk? Did you catch that?
Yes. Oh, that smug motherfucker. It like I can't even. People say I have TDS or whatever, the Trump derangement syndrome, but God forbid if we don't defeat JD Vance, I don't know what I'm gonna do in 2028 because I cannot take 4 years of that smug asshole lying to our faces. Here's the thing, right? If Donald Trump wasn't constantly lying to us, wasn't constantly pissing on us and telling us it's rain and then insulting us in the process,
Yeah.
if he would just be a normal guy, he might not be so bad, but he's horrible. He's wall to wall horrible. They wonder, why do you care so much? Because he's fucking lying to us. Don't you care when somebody lies to you constantly, like about stuff that's like an obvious lie? He lies obvious things that can be disproven on the spot, and he's lying about it. It drives. It's the gaslighting. I don't like it. I
No.
hate it. And JD Vance will be much better at it because he has that sociopathic delivery. Like he'll look in the camera and tell you without even no remorse whatsoever.
Yeah.
Lies.
I for me, it always comes down to, as a mom, like this is what the original sin was with Trump, that he embodies every single thing I teach my kids not to be, right? Like that I as a human being, as a parent, as a mom, like I've always tried. I am imperfect. Lord knows. Lord fucking knows I am imperfect. But I have
Mhm.
always tried to instill in them some sense of treating other people with dignity and respect, and to embrace all walks of life, and to be inclusive, and to be kind, and to advocate when someone's being bullied, or to help uplift someone who is sad, right? Like we all have our bad days, but again, leading with that leading with that correct foot,
Yeah.
trying, right? Trying to be the best versions of ourselves. And the thing about Trump and Vance and Stephen Miller and all of them is that they want very much for us to lean into our worst selves, the worst
Hmm.
versions of us. And I know, like, to me, to amplify that, uplift that, and sanctify that, and say to the world, this behavior is what wins. This behavior is what gets rewarded. He surrounded himself with rapists and abusers and 37 people that are all over the Epstein files, like you said, more than freaking Darth Vader's in Star Wars. And what it says to society, what it says to kids, it's just counter messaging to everything as parents we try to instill in them so that they can carry that forward into their adult lives. And then that's how you build a society that's working towards being more inclusive, being more fair, perfecting this experiment of ours, moving things forward so that we can, actually have that big tent. But they want the opposite. And I know we're kind of going on a tangent. I'm going on a tangent about this, but that's what bothers me
Please.
so much about them. And to JD Vance being here in 2028, I'll say this. I just don't think that they can make JD Vance happen. JD Vance is fetch. Okay. Like, they're not going to make JD Vance. I just don't see Mon Pa MAGA or anybody else out there with their one tooth. I'm sorry. I don't see them flying a JD Vance flag. Okay. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. I don't see anybody storming the Capitol for JD couch fucking Vance. I just don't think they're gonna make JD Vance happen. I don't think he's likable enough. I mean, I don't think anybody really genuinely likes JD Vance. That's really all I had to say about that.
Well, he's got 2.5 or 3 years to try to wrap himself in MAGA. But I want to point out a comment that C. Kendall 67 made here, saying Trump is the grievance president of our times. He's got a grievance with everyone. And I wanted to point that out because I literally just wrote a Substack this week, not calling him the grievance president, but saying that Trump has created the participation trophy culture. And that's what MAGA is, basically. It's not the best, right? The MAGA is not the best of the best. And they're not even the worst of the worst. It's just the people who, that whole participation trophy mindset, like Donald Trump felt entitled to the Nobel Peace Prize. So much so that it infuriated him that anyone but him was given that trophy. Like, anybody who knows about winning and losing, they understand that you can't win them all. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, right? But he feels like he should be winning all of these things that he didn't earn. And that is the essence of their complaint about DEI. Right? DEI, they tried to coin the phrase didn't earn it. That's what DEI stands for. And that's not what DEI stood for at all. DEI stood for making a job available to people who previously weren't even told that that job was available, that you could apply to that job. It wasn't saying, here, you're a black person, take this job that you're not qualified to do. No, they still had to meet all the benchmarks, all the requirements, the prerequisites of that job. They still had to meet those. The DEI just meant you're aware that it's a job opening now. That's all it meant. But they got all angry and wrapped up in this because now it's no longer a gimme. It's no longer automatic. Your white privilege was deactivated. Basically, you didn't automatically get it anymore. And that's their grievance. That's the grievance they have. They're pissed off that there are these commercials that have mixed race couples or or a gay couple, or that you have to press 1 for English, like, what do you mean that I have to respect the the existence of other people who aren't just exactly like me? That's their grievance, And that's why MAGA has has lasted this long, and I don't know what we have to do to eradicate MAGA, but MAGA is not. It does not work with democracy right now.
No.
It is just like the most anti-democratic thing because they're willing to give up their freedom for security or for the illusion of security. And in the process, they're happy to let an authoritarian dictator take over everything and kill our democratic experiment.
To their own detriment, most often, actually. But one of the things we can do, one of the ways that I believe we can push them back into the shadows, because that's what we have to do. Because it's not like this didn't exist before. It was just that it was impolite, right? This is the kind of thing that they had to mutter to themselves, in the basement with their bottles of Lubriderm, and now
You're
they
so good at
say it
that.
out loud.
You're scary good at that
Well,
accent.
thank you very much. And by the way, I get shit for this sometimes. And I look, the reason I do a Southern accent when I do this is not because I think that Southern people are stupid. In fact, I have a fantasy of myself being a Southerner. Like, I love the South. I love doing Southern accents. I do not think all Southern people are stupid, and or also all Southern people are Trump supporters or MAGA. It's my default voice for them. I just one of those things. It's a character. I love the South. I really honestly love the South. And I think I was alive in the South at some point in a different whatever. But one of the things, back to that point about laughing at them, speaking of grievance and speaking of laughing at them, they are pissed as hell about the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Why
yeah.
are they pissed? Why are they pissed? They're pissed because it's Bad Bunny. And what does Bad Bunny sing? He doesn't sing English. He doesn't sing in English. He sings in Spanish. By the way, he's more American than Nicki fucking Minaj. And he sings in Spanish. And they don't like it. They are so triggered by it. Also, Green Day is opening. They're playing before the Super Bowl, which is incredible. And if
Did
they
you hear the lyrics that they put in there?
Official, are they doing not part of the MAGA agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you hear that? Does Sam have that? Oh, wait. Can we
So
play
Sam
that?
has-
Or is there
Sam has
there's probably
the graphic of their counter program.
yeah. It's really
Okay.
sad.
The lineup for the All-American halftime show is here. Fire
Truly
emoji.
sad.
Watch. Okay, I know one of these names. Watch Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Brantley, Lee Bryce, and Gabby Barrett this Sunday, American Flag. The Turning Point All-American halftime show. First of all, I have a box of Cars crackers that's more diverse than this pile of crackers.
Yeah.
But also, they're so triggered by a talented, empathetic, kind, fucking smoking hot musician who just won Album of the Year at the Grammys and gave a gracious acceptance speech talking about inclusion, appealing to the best of us, right?
Yeah.
They're so triggered that they're doing that counter programming, and to Donald Trump's going to send ICE to do whatever they're going to do, because Lord knows if I was here illegally and the worst of the worst committing rapes and murders, the first place I would go is to a Super Bowl where the average ticket is what, like $3,000, whose lowest price ticket is like $3,000.
Wow.
So
Wow.
with that counter programming, I'm sorry, we have to laugh at them and how so fragile and easily triggered their widow teeny tiny feelings are, because a brown man who sings songs in a language I don't understand is coming for my halftime show. Like, fuck off.
He's and here's the funny part. He was already in, in the Super Bowl halftime show the last time Trump was in office. Fun fact. 2020. He was in there with Shakira and J Lo.
That was so
And
good.
I forget this other guy, but I mean,
That was
look,
so
the guy,
good.
as you said,
He
not
was
only is he like a leading musician, he is the #1 streamer on Spotify, like by a lot, and he is second place all time behind only Taylor Swift. You know,
Wow.
so
Holy
you know,
crap.
it is bizarre I don't understand how my Latino brothers and sisters out there, how you guys find a place for yourself in MAGA when they are so clearly rejecting you in your faces. They are rejecting Bad Bunny, who is American.
American, yeah.
He is Puerto Rican, and Puerto Rico is part of America. Therefore,
Huh?
ergo,
More than
i.e.,
England.
he is American. What part of that is so difficult for you to understand? Right? And why are you guys, why? Why do you want so badly to be part of this MAGA club who resents you? They would love to deport you. Even if you think you're American, if they hear your accent,
Yeah.
they want you out of here. You've seen dozens, hundreds of videos out there where you got the Karens coming up to them in the parking lot. Why can't you speak American?
Yep.
Huh? You're here in America. You should be speaking American. As long as they hear an accent on you, they want to say, I'm going to call ICE on you.
Meanwhile,
Really? These are the people that you want to affiliate yourselves with? Come on now.
serious. And the meanwhile, we have Melania, who is sitting with people who are hostage from Israel, plugging self-centered
my God.
piece of shit movie, and she say hostage of blankety blank. She doesn't Epstein visa recipient. She does not speak English well. She does not speak 8 languages.
No.
But of course, it's Bad Bunny that threatens them. But it is good to laugh. And by the way, I saw some chatter in the chat about the best halftime shows ever, and I agree that Prince was up there for me. Tom
Oh,
Petty
yeah.
is probably my all-time favorite. My God, rest in peace, Tom Petty and Prince, rest in peace. Those are some freaking great shows.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this show. It's my favorite part of this game because I don't have a horse in this race, but I'm really excited. I didn't know the Who. I don't remember when the Who. Bruno Mars was so good. Coldplay was not great.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
about
Bruno
to say Bruno Mars. Yeah, he
Yeah.
kicked ass.
Oh, he's so great.
Why am I remembering Prince with the assless chaps? Wasn't the Super
No.
Bowl, was it?
No, I think you're not wrong about Prince and assless chaps, but I don't remember. Yes, fuck Christmas. Who gives a fuck about Christmas and decoration? Because I love children so much, and my husband he bring back Christmas. Yeah, I don't. Guys, do you remember when he had assless chaps? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if that was. I remember it was. I think it was raining when he performed Purple Rain. So I don't remember if that was the Super Bowl or if that was some other. It must have been the Super Bowl because it was outside. It was raining.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, he was amazing.
So
Amazing.
good. We've had a lot of really J-Lo was and Shakira and with Bad Bunny that was great too.
Bad Bunny, by the way, let me just add this on, right? He is a super charismatic guy. He's an actor too. I've seen him in a few movies. Bullet Train is a hilarious, fun action movie. It's almost cartoonish. The action, the fighting, it's excellent. All these people are trying to kill Brad Pitt, including Bad Bunny. But yeah, he's been on Saturday Night Live. He has good comedic timing. Why are you hating on this dude, man? You guys are silly.
They tell us that
Silly.
we want to be mad and sad and angry all the time. That's projection 101. So like I like my closing message for everybody. And please, you can find this show and so many other shows on the Siren. Go to thesirennetwork.com. We are so excited that Brooklyn has joined us as a contributor. He's of course killing it with his own content, which he's going to plug in 1 second. So please go to thesirennetwork.com. Check out all of the stuff that we have there. But my closing message this particular week, even though I know it's hard and I know that people get tired of all relitigating so much of the awfulness and hashing it out, but actually talking to you and seeing the chat is cathartic for me when it's darkest. I look for community, and when I can talk about things and get it off my chest, then I feel like I can keep going when I'm not alone. So that is one of the things that I'm glad and grateful for you, and I'm glad and grateful for the people in the chat. But this Super Bowl, look, let's have fun, right? Like it's hard to find moments right now that
Hmm.
fill our cup and distract us and pull us out of our despair. It's hard to find things that are uplifting. We have to sort
Yeah.
of seek them out. But when the universe offers you something like really good commercials, hopefully, and a fantastic opening show and a fantastic halftime show, rewarding good people, I think we should lean into that. And I'm going to be making wings. That's what I make. I make them in the oven. I do not bread them. They are delicious. So that's my closing message. Have fun. And everybody have fun. If you're not a football person, you don't watch Super Bowl, still have fun and be safe. Brooklyn, what
Yeah.
about you?
Pizza and wings are my jam. They're my jam every Friday night. But
Yeah.
like when I get to have it also on Sunday, that's an extra win. I'm looking forward to. I'm a football fan, so I'm looking forward to a good game. Hopefully seeing the Patriots get their asses beat, but like not a blowout. I don't want to see a
No.
blowout because by halftime you're done with it. But
Yeah.
the commercial I'm looking forward to in particular is a trailer. Well, there's two trailers. One for the new Spider-Man movie, Brand New Day, and the other one is for the Avengers movie, which is coming out in December.
Yeah.
Avengers Doomsday. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat waiting
Yeah.
for that. So seriously, hope that comes out. And my show is the Defiant Weekly. It's every Wednesday at 6:30 in the P of M. Yesterday I had Aaron Rupar, who was awesome, who's amazing.
I love him.
Yeah, he's incredible. Aaron
Yeah.
Rupar is like one of two guys that is like propping up like liberal Twitter.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're the ones creating the clips, like those really poignant, powerful clips.
Yep.
And next week I have Isaiah Martin, who has been flame throwing MAGA. He did this one of those debates with like 20 against 20 MAGA.
Yeah.
And oh my God, the dude is incredible.
He's so good.
He was either like a master debater.
I see what you did there. Isaiah, I hope you're watching.
the dude is absolutely hands down amazing and so much fun to
He is.
watch. So I'm looking forward to my
Yeah.
interview with him.
Yeah, tell him I said hi. He and I were in a fantasy football league. I love football too. With Sam, who's
I
our
want
wizard.
in, by the way,
Yeah,
next year. This
I
year.
was so sad. I made it to the playoffs. I think I made it. I made it to the playoffs in third, and I lost to Harry Sisson, who won the whole league. Because somebody who's behind the scenes right now gave him Josh Allen. Just gave him Josh
What?
Allen. Sam.
I smell collusion. That's collusion.
Well, maybe there's a deep state plan there, but
Do you not
I
have
lost to Harry.
do you not have people in the league who can veto that trade if
I don't know. Aaron Parnas set it up. I don't know. That's an excellent question. I don't
yeah,
know.
my old league, if there was a sketchy trade, there's a bunch of team owners who could just nix that and say nah.
Oh, okay. Notes for the future, because I really do believe I would have beaten Harry, and I would have won and prevailed the whole league, and I would have had bragging rights forever. But as it was, I finished in fifth.
Bring me into that league and we can
Right.
collude together.
Okay, that's but on that note, thank you to Sam behind the scenes running all the show, the man behind the curtain.
Sam.
Sam Schwartz, co-founder of the Siren Network, also just a genuinely wonderful human being. And thank you to everybody here in the chat. Was that? Do it again.
That was Sam.
For a minute there, I thought that was the audio of Trump sharding in the Oval Office the other day. Did you see that? We got to laugh at them. We do have to laugh at them. Authoritarians and bullies do not like being laughed at. So we have to do all the time. That's it. There you go. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Brooklyn. Make sure to check out the Defiant Dispatches on Substack. That's Brooklyn's Substack. Make sure to check out the Defiant Weekly, which is Wednesday nights, 6:30 p.m. I'm Joe Carducci. Please also, if you want to check out my Are You Effing Kidding Me Substack, please go to thesirennetwork.com. One of our contributors, Harry Dunn, just announced his candidacy for Congress in Maryland. So let's have it for Harry. Very exciting stuff coming up. We have a new show launching next week that you guys want to stay tuned for, because it's a very familiar name that most of you know, and I'm so excited to work with her. I'm going to leave it at that. But have a great weekend. Have a great week. Stay safe. Really, seriously, please, guys. Just stay safe and keep talking to each other, keep communicating with each other. The only way out is through, and the only way through is together. So thanks, Brooklyn.
Peace, y'all.
Bye.